Rivet here. Good to see you again. This is a video response to PJ Bridges' tag of me for the knife that started it all. So I thought I'd give you a little story about the knife that started me on my collection and a few samples from my collection. The knife that started it all was this Buck 110. I think it was the summer between my senior year in high school and college. I was camping in the Outer Banks, Ocracoke Island, and I was in the channel side crabbing. And it was in the reeds, and there was an old marshy area where 50 years ago there might have been some docks, or a dock. But anyway, I was coming back in through the woods and underbrush, and there was a stump. It was definitely old. And this knife was sitting right there on the stump. It was all brown and moldy, and there was moss growing all over it. And if the piece of light hadn't hit it just the right way and caught my eye, I would have never seen it. And this is an old Buck 110. It's got the wooden bolsters on the side. It's bigger, heftier than the newer versions. And I cleaned it up. The blade was all dulled and pitted. Can you see the pits up in here? And you can still see the pits, the holes there. But I took oil and Comet and Brasso, and I cleaned it up as good as I could. And I bought myself a sheath for it, and it's been in my fish and tackle box ever since. So for over 30 years now, I've had this knife, and this is what got me started. Another knife that I bought soon after was this one. After I started learning about knives and metals and stuff, I really got interested in Damascus metal, and I ran across this Buck 110, and you can see it's made, the blade is Damascus steel. You can see the layers in there. It's a stag handle, brass, silver brass bolsters, and it's a little different design than this older model, but essentially it's the same knife. And it's beautiful, and it's in my collection, and I'm very proud of it, and it came with this sheath. Another one that I got eventually when I was in service, I had custom made for me. This is a Randall combat knife. I ordered it to my specs from the Randall company in Orlando, Florida. It's got a 7-inch drop point blade with the top sharpened, razor sharp both sides. It's got the custom brass finger guard here with a thumb guard. The handle is designed and cut to fit my hand, the size of my hand. It's got a skull crusher on the pommel and a hole for a safety lanyard as well. This is a very fine military combat knife for personal survival, and it came with its own leather sheath and sharpening stone. Thankfully, I've never had to use it, but in a survival situation, this is what you want. Obviously, I was in the Army. I was an infantry paratrooper, and I was involved in the parachute assault of Omar Torrijos Airport in the Panama invasion in '89. About the second or the third day of the invasion, we assaulted and took over the Batallón 2000, Battalion 2000 area, and my company took it over, and my squad was the ones who ended up clearing the last of the rooms in the battalion headquarters, and I found myself in the battalion commander's office. So I went rummaging through his desk, and I found this AK-47 bayonet. So I shoved it in my pocket. War booty. It's Eastern Bloc made. It's got the serial number 0791 punched in here. I don't know if you can see it. It's got plastic bolsters on the side. It's got the the lug nut for the rifle, and it's got a very cheap scabbard with some kind of cotton webbing and leather. I was surprised at the cheap, mass-produced quality of this. It was the first time I had seen an AK bayonet up close. This top is not sharpened. Much inferior quality to the American bayonets, but it's well designed for the job it's meant to do, and you know, that's what it is. It is what it is. So that's a nice addition to my collection. I have another custom-made knife here. It's a one-hander. It's a very useful little belt knife. It was made by A.G. Russell. I have an ambidextrous thumb opener. It's got a 4-inch blade, and it's got Mastodon bolsters on the side. Apparently the Mastodon was unearthed in Wyoming at some point, and he was able to get some of the bone and special order along with this design, somewhat of the design. And it's a very nice knife, and you can put it on your belt here, and it's convenient for everything, you know, camping, fishing, whatever you need to do. That's a nice one. Now, as far as my kitchen knives, I got this a couple years ago from my daughter. It's a Cutco 9-inch chef's knife, stainless steel blade. I ordered it with the white handles. It is beautiful and unbelievably sharp in how they maintain their sharpness. I can just wave it over the top of a tomato and it'll split open in slices. They're so afraid of these blades. They're that good. Cutco, made in New York, highly recommended for cooking. They are pricey, but they're worth the money. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention on the Randall knife, that blade is 440 Swedish tool steel that I requested he use for that blade. Very strong but flexible at the same time. This is also tool steel, 440. I don't think it's Swedish. I think it's dozer blade steel from the U.S. And my last knife I got for Christmas this year, Mrs. Ribbit bought it for me, is a Mezzaluna. It's an Italian chopping knife. Mezzaluna means half moon from the shape, obviously. And it is a chopper. And you use it like this, rocking back and forth. And it will make short order of chopping anything you want. And you can see me using it in my video I posted the other day of sopa de ajo. I'm chopping parsley and garlic with it. And you can walk it along the chopping board, and it's a lot easier than using a chef's knife or the double chef's knives to chop. It is truly a work of art and a good tool, and it's very, very sharp, and I'm just loving it. I am going to tag Tony Jessop, Tmudder for the and Super Sly Fox for the video response to this, and maybe they can show us a little bit about their knives that started it all.